I now request Mr. Ali Omar Golam Morshid to kindly come and make his presentation. Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Omar Morshid. I'm a chartered accountant and an actuary, and I run a professional practice which has about 450 people in areas such as IT, actuarial services, HR, etc. The profile is available, I think, and I won't spend much time on that. My vision for the Institute is that I believe that the primary objective of any professional body must be to ensure that the activities that its members take to provide quality service and to make sure that whatever professionals are in practice, that they actually deliver a service of a certain standard and a certain quality. And I do believe that our institute, with respect to certain aspects, which is basically the accounting and audit area, has achieved that. As a result, the membership of the institute actually carries a premium value in society at large, especially compared to other accounting bodies. I also believe that this focus of the institute needs to continue to be on this core area of ensuring that financial statements are prepared in line with certain standards, considering those standards, and trying to ensure that those standards which exist, which relate to specific issues like Islamic banking or Takaful in our country, are given due consideration and developed. And also that the focus on the quality of audit needs to continue. Certainly a lot more needs to be done with respect to bringing a little more standardization in quality audit firms. It's a well-known fact that some of the larger firms have a very different standard to some of the smaller practices. Not to say that they are not quality smaller practices as well. My own motivation, however, to stand for the council, it comes from a different area. Because of the credibility of the accountant profession, I believe that accountants get called upon to give advice and to do work in areas which I term as non-traditional. So you find accountants giving advice on risk management, you find accountants even implementing ERP systems and so on, and certainly providing financial advice. I'm not absolutely clear that all accountants who do this work are necessarily geared either professionally or technically to deal with that. But I believe that, given the credibility of the institute and its members, that this is certainly an area that ought to be encouraged. There are also accountants, we've got some eminent ones who are standing for the council, who head large organizations, are in general management, which again requires certain skill sets, which perhaps the training of the institute is not specifically geared to. So I do believe that the institute should encourage the profession in going into what I call non-traditional areas, while focusing on the core areas, not to take away the emphasis that certainly audit and accounting standards needs to be the focus area of the institute. But I do believe that it ought to gear its members better to go into other areas, because they do have opportunities for that. And what that really needs is for the institute to try and develop a methodology, perhaps along the lines of they have this IFRS diploma, maybe along the lines of that, for people to specialize in areas such as risk management, such as financial consulting, audit of IT systems. We do have some parallel bodies that have existed, like ASACA, which have come into that. And last but not least, government accounting and audit. I do believe that the government in this country is in dire need of services of the profession, and I believe that we need to start turning our attention to that. I also believe that ICAP needs to turn its attention a little more to soft skills, people's ability to communicate and people's ability to deal with, if you like, non-standard situations. So I believe that that is also an area. Now, my motivation again for standing for the council, the council does consist of people from various backgrounds, and I believe there has to be a mix of people from the core accounting and audit profession and those who come from industry. And I hope to add a difference, because that I believe that one can make a contribution with respect specifically to certain areas, especially public sector accounting, risk management. With the actuarial background, I believe that there is certain skills that one can introduce to the accounting curriculum, which will add to people's ability to take on things like, for example, Basel II in banking and Solvency II in insurance and things like that. Again, obviously, if, the whole area is that my thought is not that one should start including financial mathematics and such areas in the core exams itself, because I believe the core exams still ought to concentrate on the focus on the core expertise that accountants are meant to have. But certainly the institute can extend itself to providing specialist training in such areas. And I hope that, as if and when I am elected, that I should be able to make a contribution to that area. One small other area is I believe that the institute needs to focus a little more on specialization. I obviously work very largely in the insurance sphere, and one finds that perhaps the level of knowledge that's required to do an effective audit sometimes in the insurance sphere doesn't exist. Again, just the whole mechanism of how audits are carried out. So I do believe that, again, the institute ought to encourage specialization and have mechanisms whereby specific industry knowledge, where it's needed, is actually imparted. Thank you very much. Thank you.